good evening, and welcome back to Doomlink's Live Hunts. It is with great displeasure that I present to you a scenario in which Hot One is hosting a room that I have joined. Essentially what happened was I came in here and there were two rooms going. Each of them had one spot open for me to join. I joined a room that seemed pretty good. I unfortunately had to depart on a quest with them because I hadn't even begun to set things up yet. Today I decided to actually make sure that I would have a room to join and play in before getting things set up for 3 Ultimate, because I have been burned in the past, in the recent past in fact, insofar as I have set things up ready to go and then there's no one to play with. So I decided to check, but this time, yeah, they were ready to depart immediately on a quest, so I joined up on the quest, departed with them, and it was a triple consecutive Nagakuga quest, so during the intermission between the individual hunts of the monster, I would set the recording up. Regrettably, the room closed after that hunt, which would be about right. What was left for me to join was this room. There were no other options. For those who do not know Hot One, this guy is probably someone who plays pretty frequently in this game, and yet he's still only hunter rank 46. And the real problem with him is that he's a cheater. He uses talisman cheats, and not in a sneaky or crafty or clever way. We're talking like putting 50 skill points for 2 skills, you know, for a total of what would be in excess of 100 skill points on one talisman, only to create bad armor sets anyway. This is not the sort of person that you want to hunt with. It's not to suggest that he's going to somehow negatively impact your experience playing the game. It is, however, to say that this person doesn't deserve your presence. Doesn't matter who you are. He doesn't deserve to hunt with other people. This is what I'm trying to say. And unfortunately, I've put myself in a situation where my only option is to hunt with him, lest I turn off the fucking Wii U and then switch to the Switch. That was articulate. I will open my chat up, which I do on my phone, as I'm sure you're all familiar with at this point. I readily acknowledge that I have once again neglected to record, but this time there is a good reason as to why I haven't been doing that. I was rather unwell last week, or I suppose this week. It's Sunday, so it's still this week. And, I was just in no real condition to be recording a video, and then you know how when you've gotten over your sickness, I'd say, similar to the flu I had, only lasted about 2 days, but of course when you get over it there are still lingering, I suppose, elements of the sickness present, which in this case took the form of bad sinus issues, so I guess runny nose and all that shit, just the sort of stuff that don't really help a recording along very well. For instance, I'm in the middle of some Doomlink rant that I'm sure you're enjoying, and I'll have to go blow my nose or something, or, worse still, I would have a blocked nose and I'd sound like I've got, a fucking peg on my nose, consequently. And yeah, not great. But, things are better now, fortunately. My beverage companion today will be brandy, actually. It'll be a Greek brandy, or what I believe is a type of Greek spirit which more or less falls within the category of brandy. My glass today is my Perlutkin designed home guard glass from the 70s. I believe this one is around 1972. May even be earlier. It's blue glass. It's not something you'd be able to see on camera, but it does have a slight blue tinge, I guess, to it. Tint, perhaps, would be, I think tint is the word. But it's very subtle. It's not something, you don't look at it and go, ooh, that's blue. But if you look carefully, you can tell that it's blue. Anyway. I can see that Bread Yeezers and Mina are in the chat. I'm guessing, yeah, it's not showing me chat history here, but I can see it on my PC. I don't know how long I'm going to have to wait for these people, but anyway. Beverages, Metaxa 5-star. The label is a much richer yellow than this. The reason why it looks the way it does, very pale, is because it's close enough to green that the green screen, in other words the chroma key effect, is taking most of the color out. You can see that at certain angles it starts to do crazy things as the light shines off the label. But it is a rich yellow, and I suppose, just for the sake of it, I can show you what I'm talking about. That is the nature of chroma key. And I don't regret it. It's a good thing to have. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, I wish I didn't have a green screen and take certain colors out of things. It's much cleaner to have one than to not have one. And it's very interesting how the trend for live streaming actually went backwards a little bit. You know, initially, when it came to live streaming, it wasn't common to have a webcam view. And then, when it became common, you didn't necessarily have a green screen because that was associated with a higher production value. And then, I suppose it's more of a trend than anything else. It's not like it's better to not have a green screen, it's just a trend. It became typical to not have a green screen and instead, I don't know, put your fancy fucking RGB, you know, yuppie, I'm a millennial bedroom on display in the background, and yeah, that sort of became the new norm. Incidentally, I'm interested in the video game, not your fucking bedroom, so if you could maybe put up a green screen, that would be helpful. I say it as a joke because I don't actually watch live streams, so it doesn't affect me. Anyway. The point of the matter is that it's much better to have a nice, I suppose, vanilla, bare bones, and indeed unobtrusive, unobstructive video recording setup. You can see I don't have fucking text all over the screen. I don't have the chat on the screen so that people can be like, look, mum, I'm on TV. I don't have these ugly frames, borders, making the game smaller because I have this fucking reading material for you to see. No, it's me and the game. That's how it used to be, that's how it should have stayed, and that's how I will continue to record my videos. A novel concept, seemingly. Cheers. No, if I do seem as if I'm in a bad mood, it's because I thought that I had a nice room to play in, and then it turned out that I didn't, very suddenly, have a good room to play in, and then I had to come back online after being forcibly booted out, only to find that my only recourse was to hunt with this dickhead, Hot One. Which came as a bit of a shock. I was less than pleased. Actually, there is one thing that I need to do with my audio setup. Alrighty. Whether or not that makes an audible difference or not, I don't know, but what I just did at least will give me peace of mind. Essentially, my last recording required subtractive EQ, given that there was some background noise that I had to deal with, but that usually cuts too many frequencies out. So my hope is that, now that I don't have to deal with that, I've now done a different subtractive EQ which instead deals with the ambient sound of the room as it is now. So, there you go. I explain these things because there's simply nothing else for me to discuss. I'm sitting here waiting for these people to return from the hunt. They're currently determining whether or not to capture. It seems that 2 people want to capture it, so they shall be doing that. And it is to my benefit for the reason that a capture means they will be returning much sooner. I just remembered that I need to do something. Which incidentally has no relation whatsoever to the screen going dark. That just happened purely coincidentally. I will get rid of these VE tickets, I don't need them. I apparently have too many Nagakuga scales, or shards rather. So I will go and sell them. You can technically call them Nagakuga scales, but you would have to further clarify it by saying G rank scale. But of course you could just simplify it by saying shard, because that means G rank scale. That would be a slightly more, I don't know, sensible, accurate, succinct and pithy way of getting the information across. I won't be using this loadout. Oh yes, I do need to top up on whetstones, that is important. Alrighty. I don't consume brandy very much on camera. The reason why is because most brandy is more expensive than I would like to invest in. I generally go for quantity over quality when it comes to spirits. That's not to suggest that I drink stuff that I find to be unpleasant or substandard or, you know, insufficiently flavoursome. What I mean is that, you know, I'll opt for a litre of Bells over, you know, 750 mils of Courvoisier or something. So, and that would be very superior old pale. Not like extra old or anything like that. So, anyway, brandy discussions will... It's getting exciting, folks. Doomlink's discussing brandy and cognac. That was good. I'm not going to discuss what just took place. It's because it was in my left hand, you see. How long does it take for you guys to actually finish the quest after having resolved to capture the monster? Because one can only assume that if you were asking whether to cap or kill, the monster was limping. And under those circumstances, it should only be a matter of about 60 seconds. Oh, there you go, they just finished it. That felt like about 3 minutes. I could be, you know, entirely incorrect, but that felt like about 3 minutes. Between the moment they asked for the capture and the moment that it supposedly took place. Because we just got it nicely done from Toph, who may or may not be named after the Avatar The Last Airbender character. I only say that because I believe that's the only time I've ever heard that name, and I also have a distinct feeling that it's T-O-P-H, not T-O-F-F, but I could be wrong, because I don't recall seeing it written, and if I have seen it written, it was a long time ago. Back when it was still airing. That show gets a lot of respect from all quarters, doesn't it? Myself included. I haven't watched The Legend of Korra, though. Well, that's a lie. I did watch the first season, I think. Well, I'm certain that I watched part of it. But I'm not certain that I finished it. It felt like I was getting to the last few episodes, but I don't have a recollection of having completed it. I don't know. I know for sure that it didn't have the same magic as the original, but it's typically like that. It didn't strike me as poorly written, but it certainly didn't have the sort of magical writing and the intrigue that... Well, I suppose the intrigue that it engendered within me. And, Yeah, it just sort of left me somewhat disappointed. I don't know. We've got a woman here. Hello, woman. You've got many more resource points than I do. And you're using the Gen Ran. Why are you using this loadout? This is not very impressive. Oh, I see. You're Hunter rank 106. Sorry. So he's Hunter rank 106 and he has that many resource points. He's obviously been playing a lot more offline than I have. My resource points are a bit smaller. Just a bit smaller. Hey team. Don't know what's next on the agenda, but I'm hoping that we're all going to be sticking around. Could you imagine if I just sat here for 15 minutes or however long it's been? Yeah, 15 minutes and 58 seconds. And they all just cleared out. That would be really fucking annoying. I would not be a happy Doomlink under those circumstances. No one has yet made mention of what is to come next. As I said, I will not be using this armor set. I'm not in a lance mood right now. I did actually just use this in the previous hunt off camera. But seriously, I have very little desire to continue using the lance. I'm getting antsy. I'm actually getting that feeling where I want to start hunting something. You guys must be a whole lot worse off about it. You must be like, holy shit, how long am I going to sit here and look at Doomlink's ugly mug while I wait for some action to happen? Hopefully not for much longer, and of course if you're watching the VOD, you can always seek ahead through the video. But I hope that you listen to my random crap instead, because it, you know, it entertains me at least a little bit to talk to myself. A little bit. Things do not move at great speed in this room. The pacing is what you would call desperately slow. I suppose we're just letting Hot 1 post. Quite frankly, I don't see the point. He can just cheat his way to everything. So why doesn't he just do that? His talisman today is 26 points in defense for 36 points in the defense skill. And good for him. Ring of the Golden Loon, okay. Toph has redeemed a voucher. Which may or may not be helpful. I'll use a gun lance. That's fine. Which will be... where is it? Lightning Blaze, there you go. I use this from time to time. Would I prefer to have the Abyssal Lagiacruz gun lance? Not really. Part of me would prefer that, but I do love how this looks so much that I would prefer to just use this. I don't want to be tempted from the path of fashion, Hunter. Haven't been letting it warm in my hand, have I? Oh well. It's not exceptionally cold here, so it's cold enough for me to be wearing a jacket, but it's not. It's not like the glass is fucking icy or anything. Woman is taking her sweet time. I went as quickly as I could because I don't trust teams anymore to not depart without me. So the sooner I'm ready, the better. Woman is using the Thunderhammer that I use, actually, the Lagio Vortivolt. Vortivolte, I don't fucking know. Do you think I'm not very good at these foreign pronunciations, okay? So, We'll just say Vordivolt, Vordivolt. Something like that. Let's go full Aussie, mate. I shall ready up to make it clear to the team that I am indeed ready to go. I can't believe that I am actually playing with Hot One. Don't fucking depart without Toph, you idiot. I know that you want to. I know that in your sad little mind, that would be perfectly agreeable. Toph says one moment, I'm going to exit standby. Because I'm not going to entrust this situation to Hot One. I'm not going to give him the option to depart with two of us. I don't think I've seen the meat cooking mask with Char Char for a long time. I'd actually forgotten about it. I don't remember how it works. I think the meat is cooked automatically. I don't think you actually have a say as to the timing of the cooking to make it either rare or well done. But anyway. May or may not be helpful to have that. Probably is helpful though. Of course, the gun lance looks rather dull when it's sheathed, but unsheathed it blossoms into a beautiful spectacle of colour, lightning, and beauty. I don't know. Backhopping to get around with a gun lance is not a good idea. It's certainly a passable strategy with lance, but gun lance, no. You can't backhop as quickly, and the reason why is because it is designed to be less mobile as compared to lance. No doubt because a lance with gun functionality is probably going to be a heavier object than just a regular lance. One would imagine. I thought that I would actually get caught in the legs there, but fortunately I did not. I don't trust your cluster fireballs there. Can you keep away? It may be difficult to get a full combo out, so I'll just settle for partial combos. Combos that don't require big explosive climaxes like the standard gun lance combo. Or what I believe to be the standard gun lance combo. Standard in the sense that you just continue attacking with it from, I guess, a standard position. And then eventually you end up in the big heavy shot, which is what comes out of that, but yeah. Difficult to actually get that off with a monster who won't stop moving. There you go. If I hit you, Hot One, I will actually take great pleasure in having done so. I won't regret it. I won't wonder if I could have done better. You know what could have actually happened there? I could have actually been hit after being flinched by Hot One, but for some reason, I did not actually have to deal with that. That was not an eventuality which... Oh, stop it! What the fuck are you doing, man? Don't face me an upswing, you clown. Look at you. Do you know how to use a greatsword? I get that you're trying to apply status. That must be what it is. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and assume that you are making a calculated attempt to apply status with a greatsword, and that is the reason why you're not fucking charging it. But as for the upswinging of the greatsword, there is no excuse for that. There is simply no excuse for that. I already have to expend enough attention and effort to avoiding the monster. I don't need to be doing that for my teammates as well. That's not going to help me at all. Misjudged the intentions of the Rathian. Oh god, see, when you bounce like that, it really is dangerous business because you are stuck there for a period of time. Doesn't matter what I hit, as long as I hit something. It seems that, well, I hope that I hit the head there. Again, I just want to make contact. That's all I really need. What are my skills here? Do I have Razor Sharp? Okay. Wasn't sure if it was Sharpness +1 or Razor Sharp that I had with my 3 Ultimate Gun Lancer. Well, hold on, bread users. I'll give you a crash course on how to get into Old Monster Hunter in a second. I'll start off by returning the greeting given by Vernon. Hello. Good to see you. I will read what you said in chat, just for... Oh, what the hell was that? That was a bit of a fake that Rathian just did. It appeared as if she were going to do one thing and then she did something different. Which I actually quite appreciate. That's what you would call... How the fuck did she not hit me, though? That's crazy. Anyway. I always forget to say it when I'm in a stream, but I asked you like a year ago how I should get into Old Monster Hunter, and now I'm in late G rank in both 4 Ultimate and Generations Ultimate, I see. I hadn't completely read what you said, I thought you were asking me the question again. But yeah, that's great. I do recall that at least one person in the past had asked me how to get into Old Monster Hunter. My recommendation, as I recall, was to go backwards from World rather than to thrust oneself immediately into Old Monster Hunter. Old Monster Hunter in this case being 1st and 2nd gen. I don't consider 3rd and 4th to be Old Monster Hunter. I find that to be, you know, maybe late Monster Hunter, and then once you depart from that, it's no longer Monster Hunter. That is my contention, and I'm not going to qualify it any further. But basically, the difficulty of going straight from, say, 5th gen to 2nd gen is that you're not going to actually appreciate what's special about it. Because it's going to be too different. It's going to be too in your face. The experience is going to be too heavily characterized by the differences. You're not going to see what they did right. It's going to be hard to understand. And so I think to have a more meaningful experience with Freedom Unite, you need to work your way down to it. Some people don't go further backwards than Freedom Unite. I think that's respectable. I don't think that a Monster Hunter player should be required to experience anything released prior to Freedom Unite. Are they missing out on a lot? No, not really. I very much enjoy 1st gen, and DOS as well. I mean, some people will say, how could you say that, Doomlink? What about DOS? DOS is amazing. You know, everyone, you know, gets weak in the knees over DOS these days. It's, you know, it's the fad. It's the new fad. DOS is amazing. Because people can't think for themselves. But aside from that, yeah, you're welcome to play it if you'd like. But it's not a requirement. But overall, the 4 Ultimate experience is probably the best of late Monster Hunter. It's the one that's probably least affected by the gimmicks that one typically associates with old Monster... the new Monster Hunter games, rather. And while you do have the messy mounting mechanics and terrible guild quests and all of that, there's still a lot of traditional Monster Hunter in there. It's a comfortable union of the two things. The old way and the new fancy way to play, I guess. But I'd recommend giving 3 Ultimate a try if you can play it. If you can play it. I suppose if you're playing 4 Ultimate, you're possibly on a 3DS. I actually don't know. Are you emulating it, or are you playing it on the 3DS? Either way, 3 Ultimate should be an option for you. Because if you can successfully emulate it on a computer, you can probably quite comfortably emulate 3 Ultimate. And if you're playing on a 3DS, you can just get the 3DS version of 3 Ultimate. But yeah, I would absolutely recommend playing this game. It's really good fun. Ready for capture, says woman. Well, I will stand behind Toph, and it looks like we're about to get the monster in the trap. It's always good to get a capture of this monster. It's a good chance to get a mantle. Yeah, I suppose Y-stones... This is the thing, maybe what I said wasn't entirely accurate in that it's free of gimmicks. It really does have gimmicks, and Y-stones would be one of them. I do sometimes forget about Y-stones. I disliked them so much that I actually write them out of my conscious perception of what 4 Ultimate is. But no, they do exist, and I agree they're annoying. I don't like the system at all. I like the Apex monsters, but I don't like that you need to use a drive stone to hit them reliably. It really bothers me. I think it's a stupid system. It's not a bad thing that they gave it a try, but I don't like it. I really don't like it. I think it makes sense that Capcom wants to be ambitious and try new things, but yeah, I really don't like that one. But yeah, I think there's a lot of enjoyment to be had in 3 Ultimate. Although I would carefully consider whether or not you want to play 3 Ultimate before Portable Third. Yes, 3 Ultimate did come out after Portable Third. But I have a feeling that if you were to play 3 Ultimate first, it would make Portable Third less enjoyable. So you know what I'm going to recommend? I'm going to recommend, you know, based on the fact that you've gone backwards from World and you've played Generations Ultimate and 4 Ultimate to G rank, I would recommend doing Portable Third before 3 Ultimate. And that way, everything that makes 3 Ultimate unique will be there for you to enjoy. But it's not going to affect your ability to enjoy Portable Third, because most of what's in Portable Third is in this game. You don't have Yukima Village, you don't have the Hot Spring, and you don't have monsters like, you know, a Kantor, a Matsuma Gatsuchi and all of those, but you do honestly have so much of what Portable Third is here in 3 Ultimate, so I think it would be better to experience that in Portable Third first. I think you'll get more out of it. That would be my opinion. And you know, Portable Third isn't for everyone. It'll be for someone who enjoyed World. I mean, for someone who enjoyed World, yeah, you'll enjoy it, but Portable Third was the first Monster Hunter game where people just sat there going, what is this? Like, this is a really casual Monster Hunter experience. The crazy thing is, it still completely existed within the traditional framework of Monster Hunter, yet it was a very casual experience, but it was very easy. It was an easy game. But I enjoyed it for what it was. I really enjoyed it at the time. For me, I didn't play Monster Hunter for the challenge, I played it for the experience of building my character and hunting monsters. Now, when it came to hunting the monsters, that was fun. I was enjoying doing that with the new updated weapon types. They were so much more dynamic compared to 2nd gen. And the monsters were better than they were in Tri, in the sense that there were more of them. And some of the monsters that I enjoyed from Freedom Unite had returned. And the customizability of the cats was amazing. Overall, what I enjoyed about Monster Hunter was there. Absolutely was there. I didn't need the challenge. It was unnecessary. They didn't demean the series in what they did. They just took away a little bit of what would make it difficult, I suppose. Rather than removing functionality or streamlining it, they did just, I don't know, make the monsters weaker or something? I don't know what they did, but it definitely feels easier. I'm sure someone's really had an in-depth analysis or conducted an in-depth analysis into what made that game so easy, but at least on the face of it, it doesn't seem like they've actually made fundamental changes to Monster Hunter in Portable Third. What are my top 3 Monster Hunter games? Well, this is my favourite. That's 3 Ultimate. Second from the top would be Freedom Unite. Third, Monster Hunter 1. Monster Hunter 1. Going back and playing Monster Hunter 1 recently left me really impressed. It's because you don't... If you started in Freedom Unite like I did, it's very difficult to appreciate first-gen Monster Hunter, at least initially. But as I worked my way backwards from Freedom Unite, like I had to do for Monster Hunter 1 what you're having to do, Bread Users, with the series, in that I had to start with what I was comfortable with, which was Freedom Unite, and I had to work my way backwards from that to experience and enjoy first-gen properly. Going backwards from Freedom Unite, I guess I played DOS first, but I didn't play it in depth. I only played it a little bit. But I did, after DOS, play Freedom 1, and Freedom 1 was intense. That was a really intense experience, but of all the first-gen games, it was the most polished, except for the really bad input detection. That was shit. So, aside from the bad input detection, it was pretty polished. But the thing is that if we were to compare Freedom 1 to fucking Freedom Unite, wow. Just... It's almost beyond comprehension how much they missed. How many game design aspects could have been improved between 1 and Freedom 1, and they just didn't do it. There were slight improvements, but fuck me, like... An example would be being able to sort the box. You couldn't sort the box automatically in Monster Hunter 1, and I believe also Monster Hunter G. But you could do that in Freedom 1. You know, just little incremental improvements across each individual game is what we got. You didn't... The only game, or rather the first game to have massive improvements was Freedom Unite. Freedom Unite completely changed the face of Monster Hunter. It was amazing. Not visually, but in terms of playing it. Like, if you were to look at Freedom 2 and Freedom Unite, they visually looked the same. But they couldn't have been more different within their small sphere of what makes a video game. But, or what makes a second-gen Monster Hunter game a second-gen Monster Hunter game. The point is that they did have to be pretty similar, given the fact that Freedom Unite was a G-Rank version of Freedom 2, but everything that they could have possibly updated and made a change to was done. It was totally different. And it was impressive how much they cleaned up that game. What am I doing? What would be fun to use? Rapid water? What is rapid water? What do I... It's this, isn't it? God, when was the last time I used rapid water? Ever? Don't think I've ever used it on camera. Well, today's the day. But as for why Monster Hunter 1 would be my third favorite Monster Hunter game, it's because it has so much character. It is absolutely dripping with authenticity and character. It's shocking. I have a real soft spot for how good it looks compared to all the games that came after it. It wasn't until Monster Hunter Tri on the Wii that Monster Hunter looked that good again. And, like... The reason why would have to be because it was portable. Well, no, I mean DOS. Excuse me, I don't include DOS because it didn't come out internationally, but in terms of games released internationally, yeah, it wasn't until Tri that Monster Hunter looked that good, but I should clarify that I don't consider the international release of Monster Hunter 1 to be very good, and that's because in order to make X, as in cross, the select button, they actually swapped the function of circle and cross from the Japanese version to the international release. What that meant is that to open the box you had to press cross, to carve a monster you had to press cross. It was bad, it was really bad. Didn't mean anything at the time because there were no games before it to I suppose, contradict an established habit, but yeah, it makes it impossible for me to go back and enjoy that game in English. But there is a brilliant English patch for the Japanese version. It's about as good as the official version, so... as in the official international release. Very professionally done. So, yeah, you can practically rest easy in the knowledge that you can experience the Japanese version of Monster Hunter 1 with proper use of the X and circle buttons without needing to speak Japanese. I suppose for the sake of rare drops I will aim for the face, which probably is a good elemental weak point anyway. But yeah, to be able to enjoy Monster Hunter 1 and Monster Hunter G by extension, you do need to undertake rigorous training. Like, we're talking fucking desensitization processes that are just unparalleled to be able to enjoy that game. But once you get there, once you've... and for me, the gateway was Freedom 1. After I'd played, 100 hours of Freedom 1, I was ready. And, by God, it helped. It was like water off a duck's back, all the stupidity of Monster Hunter 1. And all that was left was the beauty of the game. So, whether or not it's a balanced impression that I have of Monster Hunter 1 or not, it is the impression that I have, and yeah, I really like it. I've got a real soft spot for it now. And it's so fresh and exciting, for a game, if you've played literally every fucking Monster Hunter game ever made, and then you go into the very first one, and it feels fresh, new, and exciting, despite the fact that you've fought these monsters so many times before. You know that they've done something right. It means that there is something special there. And that's absolutely what that game is. Would I recommend your average person to go and play it? No. I would recommend, first and foremost, getting really comfortable with Freedom Unite, then getting really comfortable with Freedom 1, and then going and playing it. You don't have to do that, but I think you'll get more enjoyment out of it sooner if you do what I suggest. Of course, one of the things you have to get used to is the analog stick controls as well, which sounds awful, but it's actually pretty comfortable once you get used to it. And it doesn't take too long to get used to. What I find is that if you go into Monster Hunter 1 without the adequate tolerance level built up, you will be overwhelmed by just how much is trying to fuck with you. So I think the analog stick controls just, serve to overwhelm a new player who's used to, say, Freedom Unite, because there's so much other stuff as well that you have to deal with. Just every little aspect of the game that you thought you would understand and that you thought you knew the balance of will be totally thrown out the door. There's just no rhyme or reason to it. It's just a fucking mess when it comes to the gameplay side. But because it was the first game, you've really got that quite palpable sense of inspiration and passion that went into its production. Capcom were out to not just make a video game, but to make a story and to make an experience. If they were following good game design conventions and strategies, I think they would have ended up with a game closer to Freedom Unite much sooner than they did, if not from the very beginning, but they were feeling their way through Monster Hunter with such uncertainty that it really did take a long time for them to get to that point. That may have been a... oh. Well, you... well, no, there's a bomb sitting there, so I don't think there was an expectation of a capture, but... anyway. I wasn't sure if I was ignoring a ping for the capture, or if the trap had been placed down pursuant to the capturing of the monster, or what, but... either way, I probably shouldn't carve this one. Oh, for God's sake, potato. Anyone who doesn't get the joke, it is a joke. Freedom Unite on iOS is not good, okay? I probably should get a drink of water. I'll be back in a moment. Sadly, I didn't get a mantle. Not that I needed one. I suppose that hunt went alright. Could have been worse. Yeah. Quite rightly, I did not take more materials. I carved the tail because, well, not just that I knew that I'd have space for the lash, but because it's a good chance for a mantle. Again, I don't need a mantle, but... it's nice to at least accumulate them. I wonder how many I have. 4. I don't know how I've managed to acquire so many more Rathian mantles than Rathalos mantles, but... at least I'm not in need of them. I'll tell you what, Rathian mantles I have acquired in abundance because I've needed so many of them in this game, it's ridiculous. Oh my god. Don't you start saying it too. Silver rat. Why does it look so weird? I don't know. Does it look weird? Looks fine to me. By the way, the best icons of any Monster Hunter game, hands down Monster Hunter Tri. Monster Hunter Tri's monster icons are amazing. Really good. They've got that really authentic look to them. Very nicely done. I don't know if you wrote that before or after I had mentioned it, Bread Users, but yes. Monster Hunter 1 and Monster Hunter G and Monster Hunter DOS use, well, essentially any Monster Hunter game that appeared on the PlayStation 2 used analog stick combat. I don't know if I was kicked from the room or if I actually disconnected. Annoyingly, they don't tell you. I'm not sure why the game doesn't tell you when you've naturally disconnected versus when you've been kicked, because the game knows. The game knows. It looks like the room did close, so... Lilu is here, okay. Lilu I have obviously played with before, and I'm glad that she's here. Kind of saved the recording, to be honest. And thankfully Hot 1 has probably cleared out. So, I'm really happy to see that. It's good news. And encouraging to see. As for what Lilu's doing, I don't know, but there is every likelihood that we will get 1 or 2 more people in here. Because those who've also been disconnected along with me in that room will probably want to come and play anyway. So it probably won't be a 2-man situation. Well, why would you use We Speak? Seriously. Fucking We Speak. Woman has made it into the room. I've mentioned this before, I've told this story before, but the only time I ever heard anyone use We Speak in Monster Hunter Tri, it sounded like an aeroplane taking off. I'd never heard anything so bad. Just sounded, it was worse than radio noise, it was just, yeah, it was terrible. And I'm pretty sure I did hear a voice coming through as well. It was really fucking bad. So yeah, anyone who had the misfortune of being in a room with someone using We Speak in Tri, I'm sorry, because if it was anything like my experience, then yeah, my condolences. Lord first. There was something that I wanted. What was it? There was, oh that's right, Savage Devil Joe. So the reason why I want Savage Devil Joe is because I'm trying to make the Switch axe. I haven't been super active in seeking to make it because generally I don't get many opportunities to post a quest, but I have been informed that it is my turn, and I will take it. I'm upgrading the Switch axe from here. I think it is 1 upgrade off. No, it's still Rarity 9, apparently. Where is it? Saliga Vile Axe. Saligia. Is it Saligia? I guess it's Saligia. I kept on calling it Saliga. It's Saligia, actually. Anyway, let's use this loadout. Wait, no. If it's Savage Devil Joe, he probably will take more damage from Thunder, so... Well... What is my Thunder Bow? Nether Empress Stardoll? Yeah, it is. Okay. Whoops. I don't really want Woman's Guild card, unfortunately. I'd take Lilu's, but I don't... I may or may not have received it already. It seems that I haven't. Very well. How did I only then get Tavo Show's guild card? What the fuck? I'm telling you, I've been playing with this guy forever, and I didn't get his card until... whenever that was. Sometime in 2021, it looks like? Maybe not. Maybe 2018. It's looking like 2018, honestly. Because... yeah, I definitely got... oh no, no, probably not 2018, probably 2020. Because I have played a lot with N10, as you can see. Haven't played with him recently, last time was in 2021. But... very high Unity level with him. Yeah, the tri-icons are really good. I don't know why they didn't return to that style. I don't know why they didn't use that style in this game. It's ridiculous. Bottomless Beast, I think it's called. Where is it? Oh, that's right, I think it's an event quest. There it is. Strange to think that the only way that you can properly fight Savage Devil Joe in this game is to get an event quest out. He doesn't exist naturally within the game. He's actually an invading monster only. Unless, of course, you get this quest. And he doesn't have a separate icon, he just has the regular Devil Joe icon. There's nothing here which suggests that this is Savage Devil Joe. This is the first game where he appeared, by the way. It's Devil Joe's third appearance in the series, and the first appearance of Savage. And he's pretty rough here. He hurts a lot. Noticeably stronger than standard Devil Joe. Probably no more so than the other games, but anyway. What have we got? So I can't use power, so I'll just bring close range coatings, which I already have, apparently. And I'll bring meat as well. Probably 2 of each will suffice. Oops, I need to put away some stuff. Those cortexes can be removed. Oh, actually, it's just one. That one cortex can be removed, thank you. Alright. And the meat. Wherever that is. I found it pretty quickly before. I need to open my eyes. There we go. And I won't be using poison meat. Because in my opinion, it's better to keep Devil Joe exhausted than to poison him. The poison meat's not really worth it. And yet some people place it first for some fucking reason. But I'm not going to get into a rant about that because that's an old rant. I think you've all heard that one by now. I do love the look of this bow. I don't use it often enough, do I? It's very cool looking. Well, I was hoping I'd be out of the range of it. That attack that he did there does exist for regular Devil Joe as well, but it first appeared in Portable Third. Devil Joe didn't do that spin on the spot attack in Try. Lilu is sadly already being eaten. That's why he's called Hungry Devil Joe. Was getting a bit risky there. I didn't very much appreciate that delayed attack that I just witnessed there. I should be able to get out of range of that. There you go. You can see the range is a little bit better with that attack. A little bit greater, whatever you want to say. Yeah, just overall, a more damaging Devil Joe hunt, which I'm not really used to experiencing here in this game. In the other games, yeah, but for me, usually, in 3 Ultimate, the Devil Joe experience is a very easy one. Is that sleep? I think it's sleep, yeah. Don't you attack Onna, seriously. That was the first time I referred to Onna as Onna, and not woman. Alright, please let me detonate. Please. Get out of there. What are you doing? Need to get in good position for Pierce, which is down the front of the body. Technically, I should be timing it like that, so that it can begin at the face and then go down the body. Can I? Sometimes you can get just under the chin and it pushes you behind the attack, but that did not happen that time. I need to dive that, as you can see, because the range of it is pretty bad. God damn it. The last thing I need is to lose health before I even had a chance to fully heal. That I really could live without. Just for good measure, I will fully heal myself just so that I don't have to worry about taking a really heavy hit. Holy shit, the range of that is not okay. I actually do prefer Rapid Bow to Pierce Bow when it comes to Devil Joe, but I don't know. I wanted to use this bow, I suppose. But yeah, rapid bow on a Double Joe face and stomach is real fun. Really fun. I'm glad that that didn't apply any Dragon Blight to me. Makes life a little easier. Neglecting to bring Nullberries to this fight, or really any fight where... Oh shit. Look at that. For an attack with that much range, that comes without warning, quite frankly. Or it comes with insufficient warning. You can also see that the rocks are bigger. When he does do his rock throwing attack. Oh fuck, I'm gonna get caught in that! God, this is annoying. It would actually be easier to go Blade Master under these circumstances. How annoying. How many fucking potions am I gonna use against you? I'm just not at all used to fighting Savage Devil Joe in this game. All of my sensibilities are just screaming out at me like, please, just... go back to regular Devil Joe. He should go and eat that tinged meat soon. As long as he's in the same area as the meat, he'll smell it. But I think there is an element of randomization to him as to when he actually goes for it. Well, there are worse times to put down a shock, I suppose, but... yeah, I suppose we may as well go for it. First shock trap and... he is exhausted, so... should last a little while at least. Wow. That is impressive. For a shock trap, that was... oh my god. Yeah, for a shock trap that lasted for a very long time. Well, apparently he wasn't interested in the paralysis meat. Perhaps if he's already eaten meat in that area, he's less likely to eat a second time. That's definitely probable. I just meant to roll normally there. And I didn't mean to roll in that direction. I was moving my character in the opposite direction, but my character did not actually turn fast enough. Whatever. Apparently, Potato's cat is pawing at my face through the monitor. Oh, we've got 2 paralysis meat down now. That's fine. He's not going to eat it just yet, but hopefully soon. One can't help but feel that not enough damage is being dealt when there are no coatings applied, but I'll just have to live with it. Oh, for fuck's sake! What a waste. Like, seriously, we spend all this time trying to get a fucking paralysis, and then the tail gets cut in the first 2 seconds of the fucking paralysis. How frustrating, and it seems that Lilu was equally frustrated by that turn of events. I get that you want to cut the tail, but please, there's a time and a place. And that was not the time. And I don't think place factors in. What are you doing? Leave me alone. I'm trying to fucking consume a hot drink, and this monster is tailing me in a creepy way. Oh, we are sliding around a bit. And there's another paralysis meat, which will of course not actually paralyze. That is the downside to putting multiple of the same meat in the area, you end up just feeding him. I don't know how many more paralysis meat would be required for him to be paralyzed at this point, but Probably 3 more. Something like that. And that also depends on how frequently he eats, because the build-up does go down. Are you fucking kidding me? What kind of crap is that? Like a double fucking dragon breath? You've got some nerve, dickhead. I'm going to max potion that because that was not fair. Like, nothing of what that was fair. What a prick. He's definitely designed dirty. You can't deny it. Ugh. One thing that I will mention is that I don't know if it has to do with the games that I play on the Classic Controller Pro. Well, there's really only one example of that. At least when it comes to the bow, because that is what I was trying to talk about. I seem to have greater difficulty aiming with my bow with this controller. But again, I'm not sure if that's an issue to do with the game or to do with the controller. But, yeah. When I do aim down my sights with it, it feels like it's harder to get on target. I think it's while moving specifically. If I'm stationary, it's not a problem, but if I am moving, it goes all over the place. Could be a game-related issue. Ugh. There's a poison meat, better than nothing, I suppose. Because technically in that moment he wasn't actually exhausted anyway, so that's alright. It's not like we're feeding him. Oh, fucking hell. Part of me, you see, I didn't roll that because part of me expects this. Well, that, unfortunately, will be a fucking combo. Are you seeing the combos that this monster can dish out? It's terrible. A genuinely difficult monster, really. At least with this loadout. I think that I have a distinct feeling that it's easier to go Blade Master with this monster. Whatever. I think more than anything else, I'm just so used to fighting regular Deviljho in 3 Ultimate. My mind expects something far easier than this. Having more robust defense against a monster like this really would help. I think that more than anything would make Blade Master a better choice. I can imagine very quickly finding oneself in a compromising position while going Blade Master. Imagine you're standing between the legs of the monster and then all of a sudden Deviljho just takes a few steps back and breathes dragon onto your face. Generally, you wouldn't have enough time to sheathe and dive that. Well, that's not exactly an encouraging sight. Although I would be surprised if he were limping. Dragon is still a perfectly respectable element to be using against him, but I do think that Thunder beats it out. Against Savage. Oh, fucking hell. Looks like Toph finally made it in, jeez. Why did it take Toph like 15 minutes? 15 to 20 minutes to end up in this room after the previous one closed? I really don't know. I was expecting him or her to turn up, but didn't happen. Until now. Reassuringly, we do have a limping Deviljho. So I suppose we are dealing pretty good damage in the end. Alright. I don't actually have a trap, so yeah, let's go for it. Oh, what a nasty time to die. Imagine if that were our final death as well. Lilu is tranking a Popo, which is definitely a novel sight. The Popo is running around in distress. Quite understandably, but Lilu's just fucking killing it. Putting it out of its misery. And kicking it as well. Wow. There you go. No fucking mercy. Oh. I don't like being so far in the corner. Fuck. Just have to shift myself. Yeah, if I'm too far in the corner, it just doesn't look quite right. The framing is not as good. So that black blood is what I need. I had the impression that I would have a higher chance of getting black blood if I were to capture. I don't know if that's enough black blood. 3 sounds like a good number, doesn't it? As far as requirements are concerned, but you never know, I may need 5, in which case I will need to hunt another one, or perhaps another one after that. But anyway. Apparently I have too many, I think, Devil Joe shards, so I'll go and sell those as well. It is woman's turn. I didn't have psycho serums in my gunner pouch for one reason or another. So shards is indeed what I have in excess, so I will sell those if I can locate them. And we'll fix our inventory because I definitely did go through a lot of healing wares there. That was rough. Oh goodness. Now, the moment of truth. Can I fully upgrade my Selegia switch axe? It looks very cool, by the way. It's going to be my Awakened Dragon switch axe. Sadly, it is 5 that I require. Don't worry, it's a much better looking switch axe with Sharpness +1. You get a whole lot of purple. Almost to the end of the bar, actually, if I remember correctly. It is woman's turn. And it seems that woman is posting. What is that loadout? Looks good, actually. Never mind. I would like to fulsomely withdraw the statement that I just made. Auto tracker high grade earplugs at evasion +1. That is really random. And to think that one of those skills is entirely from a talisman. So actually that set has only 2 skills, one of which is a 15-point skill, but still, that's pretty bad. That's a notably bad set. But whatever. If it's precisely what that person wanted, then fine. But still. Could be better. I'd guarantee that you could do better than that. I'm talking like evasion +2 instead of +1 and then another skill as well. So, I don't know what combination of armor pieces would achieve that, but I have little doubt that it's possible. Azure attack. Not a very exciting quest to be put on the board, but fine. We've gone down a few levels now. We've gone from fucking Savage Devil Joe to Azure Rathlos. I'll bring a hunting horn. What's my dragon hunting horn? Brimstone Drake something. Brimstone Drake. No. I don't know, I'm obviously thinking of a different Stygian Zenoga weapon. But anyway, probably Brimstone Drakeblood. I think that's the name of the gun lance, probably. Anyway. Looks pretty cool though, doesn't it? The coloration of this, in fact, I will say that the coloration of the Stygian Zenoga weapons makes the Zenoga weapon designs look better. But I still don't really like them all that much. The Stygian weapon designs are quite unimpressive compared to that of the, for example, Abyssal Lagiacruz weapon designs. Alright. I think I'll be playing all three of these songs, honestly. My throat's a little dry. For one reason or another. Oh, wow. I got a Twitch notification. Get $1.59 off your first sub. Support favorite creators and get custom emotes, fewer ads. I'm live, dickhead. Oops. Tell that to my viewers, not to me. Unless it was Twitch's intention for me to relay that information to you. Whatever. I suppose I've now done that. For better or for worse. It could have gone for a more hellhound look instead of emo Zenoga. Emo Zenoga. I wouldn't say that he looks that bad. That's not a roaring endorsement for Stygian Zenoga, I have to tell you. Emo Zenoga is pretty, it's unendearing. Anyway. As a priority, I will be doing Attack Up Large. I genuinely thought that that was the combination. I am apparently wrong. Yep. I got it wrong by just one note. But just one note's enough. Fuck off. Now leave me be, I'm playing my music. You can see that Rathalos and perhaps all monsters, in fact definitely all monsters, as soon as you're playing a Hunting Horn song they're like, stop him! Alright, I need to check the combinations for the other ones. Okay. And I didn't actually commit to memory what the Melody Effects Extended song is, but I'm going to just... I never remember if this has a bonus. Does this have a bonus? No, it fucking doesn't. Okay, now I'm going to play the guessing game of Melody Effects Extended. I think it's this, or it could be the reverse of this. Well, it's certainly not that. Let me check. It's the reverse of that. Which means that it's going to play just like that. Melody Effects Extended. And I don't think that has a bonus. If it has a bonus, then I've just missed out, but... maybe I'll find out next time. Hold on, never mind, I thought that was a paralysis. The way he was going rigid there made it look like he was under the effects of paralysis. In which case I was going to get in position to hit the head, which I have done anyway. That was a paralysis, actually. The way his head snapped up like that, that was 100% a fucking paralysis animation. Which was immediately interrupted by a tail cut. Immediately. I don't think I've seen a paralysis interrupted that fucking quickly before. That was insane. And really disappointing. Sorry if I hit anyone. Trying to get that fucking KO, you know? I believe that I'm entitled to it at this point. Maybe not yet. You know when I'll be entitled to it? When I successfully get the KO build-up required to achieve it. That's when I will be entitled to it. Doomlink. Don't be unreasonable now. Well, thanks for doing longsword combos on the head that I'm trying to hit with my hunting horn. Lilu has been so bedeviled by monsters getting their tails cut out of paralyses. Because it was technically oh my god, what the fuck was that? It was technically Lilu's initiative to drop a paralysis meat during the last hunt, which of course resulted in failure because the tail was cut. And then this time around it was Lilu's longsword with the paralysis effect, which was completely ignored by a tail cut. Completely. Only a fraction of a second took place where the monster was paralyzed. Pretty regrettable. Oh, I see. Well, I did get my KO at least. Mission success. Probably. I'll try to warm up the brandy a little bit. Keep it in my hand. That's how you're supposed to do it. This is a much nicer glass to drink brandy out of, by the way. Compared to, you know, a snifter or a balloon glass. I don't very much like those. This is a proper brandy glass. A bit out of fashion by now. This is like a 50-year-old glass. But still, it's good. I suppose the shape of it makes it a bit hard to judge the amount of liquid you've actually got in there. But anyway. Why do I have excess of so many fucking monster materials at the moment? I must not be paying attention or something. That's a great ending shot. Look at Rathlos's face. I wish I could remove this heads-up display. It's not the first time I've said that. But seriously, that's a classic face he's got there. I have to fucking awkwardly keep the glass in my hand. I mean, actually, this isn't so awkward. Might be hard to imagine, but I can make do with this. Toph's turn. But yeah, I mean, it was a case where if you blinked, you would have missed the paralysis. 100%. I'm not even saying that as a joke, or to be ironic. I mean, it was a fraction of a second where the head snapped up, and then his tail got cut off. That's the only way you could actually see that he was paralyzed. You didn't even get a chance to see the visual effect of the paralysis. No, it was just the animation of the monster snapping to a rigid position and the head snapping up like that. That was the only way that I noticed it, which is pretty funny. When it is next my turn, I will be posting that monster again. Savage Devil Joe. I'm only 2 black blood away. But the fact that I had 3 after acquiring 2 would indicate that the hunt that I did prior to the previous one yielded only one, which means that there is the possibility that I will need to hunt the monster 2 more times to get what I need, which is frustrating, but I suppose I will have to live with it. We have the Ruler of 2 Realms to suggest that the monster, despite being amphibious, is more land-focused than water-focused. I might use a longsword for a change. And I will use the adjudition. In fact, I think I do have the silver Rathalos longsword. I should. But the point is that I can use the silver Rathalos longsword in basically any Monster Hunter game, okay? Except for, I think, the first-gen games. Because it didn't exist. But fucking silver Rathalos longsword, that's not very special. There's nothing special about that at all. This, however, this is unique to the game that I'm playing now. So I'll be using this. I've got Exchanger. Well, I'm definitely going to be ranking up after this one. But it's still going to be a good help. No, I don't really know what we're waiting for. I think we were waiting for each other. Interestingly enough. We have the same habit, where we don't ready up until we're personally convinced that everyone's ready to go. Let's go. Seriously. If your multiplayer instincts were as good as your armor crafting abilities, then you may very well have a better loadout than what you have now. Or you would have a better loadout. Anyway. I'm very happy with this armor set. I was utterly chuffed when I made this however many years ago. I think I made it in 2015. Mid to late 2015. Sometime before having started the Random Hunt series, I believe. I started the Random Hunt series back in September of 2015. I believe I'd already made this by then, so... yeah. The reason why it's really good is because it's very difficult to get good Edgemaster talismans. They're very specific things, and I was just lucky enough to pick one up. From where I don't recall, but the talisman is, of course, Edgemaster +2, Tenderizer +5. Very good. I think Edgemaster +2 is the highest skill point level you can get for Edgemaster. If it's not 2, it's 3. And, yeah. It just so happened, of course, that the weakness exploit skill was something that I could comfortably get with Rocksteady. And obviously Honed Blade. And I'll never forget that one day... ugh, it's a long story, I'm not going to talk about it. I've been over it before. I did what I could. Really, better positioning would be the back, but I don't want to compromise my ability to get out a full combo by repositioning like that. I won't pursue that combo in full. Aha! I can now. This is going to be a very quick hunt, I would hazard a guess. Would hazard the guess. If I could speak. I did try to roll that. It was a good attempt. Well, I just got comboed, and thankfully it didn't result in my death. But it may very well do so. I accidentally... Fucking hell, I can't see what's going on. I didn't mean to tap L. Because I accidentally tapped L, it actually pointed my camera away from precisely what I needed to be looking at, which was the monster. And this is why Rocksteady's very good. Damn it. I did actually want to attack the fucking monster, not just unsheath it. For goodness sake. I'm enjoying a bit of longsword. Although I do admittedly feel vulnerable when I'm aggressively trying to get off my combo. Can I get it up? Yes. Actually managed to do it. Part of me doesn't actually want to sharpen because I think we're going to kill it very soon. There you go. Very good. Excellent run. That was nicely done. And it was a capture too. Unsurprisingly. Just getting a nice look inside that mouth. Not inside the very head of the monster, but inside the mouth. What's inside a laggy throat? Me. I'm inside one. Monster Hunter Tri was the first game where I was very much enjoying walking inside monsters and just checking them out, you know. Hunter rank 504. I did not check to see how many Hunter rank points I received, but should have been a decent amount. I have 8,962 points until the next rank up. And I need to sell that flail. Immediately. Oh dear. Thank you for what appears to be a double Prime subscription. I don't know how you managed to do that. I don't know if that's Twitch just shitting itself, or if it's actually what just took place, but I appreciate the Prime subscription. Onna has unceremoniously departed the room, without so much as a goodbye. And apparently we're doing 2 Glacial Agnaktor. Could also be interpreted as 2 G rank Agnaktor, but I'm guessing that it's G for Glacial. Well, I would imagine that it is Twitch messing up. You would know if you pressed subscribe twice. Then it would make sense. If you didn't, then it would not make sense. Although it would still be confusing as to how you managed to subscribe twice. 2 Glacial Agnactor. What would make that fun? Something that's not going to be bouncing, honestly. So I suppose... Well, yeah, I will bring a normal heavy bow gun. That sounds like a good idea. I think I would enjoy that. Well, I'll let you post it. It's likely an advanced quest. As for you missing Lagia crews in later generations of Monster Hunter, don't know what to tell you, man. The last relevant generation of Monster Hunter had Lagia, so... Not sure what you're missing. I suppose I'll settle for a non-fresh ingredient. He has to, you know, cook it at some point, doesn't he? I mean, maybe he would eat it for himself. Mr. Fat Cat Chef. He is the fat cat, right? No, you're not the fat cat. You're the regular-sized feline with the large knife. Even by human standards, that's a big knife. Look at the size of it. It's literally a sword. Compare the size of that knife to the size of my character and you'll realize that that's a fucking sword. And it's being carried by a cat, who is using it as some sort of cooking knife. Admittedly, he's probably cooking with some pretty serious ingredients. Lagia Cruise underwater is not necessarily better, but it is the way it was intended. So, yeah. I regret that I couldn't showcase it better in the previous hunt. But yeah, it was intended for you to fight Lagia Cruise underwater. That was where you first met him in Tri, and the underwater locations are where he usually swims around. Or hangs around. I suppose hang may or may not be appropriate underwater. Can you hang around in the water? I suppose you can. Probably more easily than you can on land, incidentally. You can actually hang physically. Toph is using a Crouchfire Pierce set, which may or may not be appropriate. I would generally say not. Hold on. I nearly committed a sin. I did not actually check to see, and very thankfully, I did have the presence of mind to check to see if I had stocked up on ammunition, and I hadn't done so. I have now redressed that very undesirable scenario. Agnactor number 1 should be just yonder. Hello. I'll be mostly hip-firing the chest, except for the moments when I'm instead hitting Lilu Hunt. I suppose if I want to stop being lazy, I could aim for the face. And now would be a good time to do that. Fairly worthwhile. I've said it many times before, but normal gunning is a perfectly viable style of play. It's just that it requires a whole lot more effort than Pierce in order to be as effective as Pierce. It has the potential to even be more effective, it's just that you do have to be accurate with it. Your ability to successfully hunt a monster quickly with normal is entirely dependent upon your accuracy. Apparently Lilu brought the wrong set. Unless Lilu was referring to Toph, in which case I also wonder why. Toph would bring a Crouch Fire Pierce set against an Ugnaughtor, but whatever. Seems like a weird choice. In the first instance, this monster is not that fun to pierce. And second of all, the Crouch Fire is already backfiring on Toph, as we can see. So, yeah. There's a reason why I went with normal here. It's because Pierce doesn't sound very fun. Because it isn't. Thank you. You seem to be actually shooting normal level 3. Why? You've got a Pierce loadout, man. I don't disagree with your decision, I just disagree with the fact that you're not using a normal set. Yeah, Try was good in certain ways. Definitely the Lagia crew's experience in early Moga Village was great. They did a very good job of introducing the monster that you're working up to. And it was a really nice way of doing that. I suppose they did the same. They've always done that with monsters, like Tigrex, for example, was introduced in a very similar way. And what it does is it gives you a sense of what you're working up to. It's a much more tangible sense of what you're working up to because you've actually physically engaged the monster. You know what's involved. And, you know, most hunters will give it a shot. They won't expect to succeed, but they'll give it a shot. They'll see what's involved. And usually they'll get their asses handed to them. Tigrex was generally better at doing that than Laggy, but it was still pretty punishing to try and take on Laggy during that Monster Guts quest. Apparently the Ice Beam sounds like a Pokemon, according to Red Yeezus. Well, there goes that one. I may as well combine my shots. Yeah, I'll take it to 99, why not? Well, 95 I suppose in this case. You know what, I'm not going to carve after all. I don't want to deal with selling the stuff. As I've said in the past, it's easier to manage one's excess monster materials from the reward screen. I will animation cancel that one. But you can see that there is just more excitement and spice to a normal gunning hunt, as opposed to Pierce. Pierce does require a bit of positioning, but it just doesn't have the sort of soul that normal gunning has. Normal gunning is fun. It's really good fun. I don't really want to be aiming for this head here, it will be flailing around a bit. I would have don't know if I want to say will or would. I would have a higher DPS if I were exclusively aiming for the chest, but I can't help but aim for that face when it feels like a good idea to do so. Now would not be a good idea, or a good time, but anyway. You know, when it's moving, it's not ideal. But now is a good time to do it. Now's a really fucking good time to do it. You motherfucker! I feel so sorry for Lilu. Every time Lilu wants to fucking paralyze the monster, something stupid happens. There was no fucking excuse for that one. That was just... that was woeful. You could have flashed that monster at any fucking time, and you chose to do it during the paralysis. I mean... that really was a fucking blowout now, wasn't it? I don't know if Toph forgot her fucking ammunition or what happened, but she is crouch firing, or perhaps not even crouch firing, normal level 3 with a piercer. Well, actually, you know, I never checked. I never actually checked to see if Toph had pierce up skills. It looks like she does. Based on the armor being used, I believe that that's pierce up, but it could be pierce up and normal up. Can you fucking stop? I need to position myself. Anyway, yeah, it could be the case that she's got normal up and pierce up. I do occasionally see that. It's not the sort of thing that I would do, but yeah. But yeah, Try was a great game to start on. It was my second game, and I got a lot of enjoyment out of it at the time. It is still to this day the game that I enjoy the most. But it is definitely not the game that I consider to be the best. Despite that enjoyment. And there's a long explanation as to why. Goodbye. Can't fucking type. The reason why I can't type on this keyboard is because it's not my normal keyboard that I use to type. I used to use a different keyboard, but the thing is, the one that I used to use was more similar to the one that I typically use, so I could actually type better on it. But there is quite a difference between this keyboard and the one that I typically use, which means that I'm typoing all over the place. Lilu says that, you know, Ivory was a successful paralysis run, which I suppose it was, but I don't know if that would really make up for that terrible situation. Look at that. Got a wide open Agnaktor mouth for the final shot there. Feel like I'm at a dentist appointment with Agnaktor. Squeeze my hand if it hurts. Frustratingly, I did accidentally take a fucking Cortex, so I need to go and sell that. That's right, I forgot that we had a person join during the hunt. It is Trahira with a non-awakened Ceravento loadout, which is fine, I guess. It is a good raw sword and shield, it's just I wouldn't use a raw sword and shield at all. Like, just in general, I wouldn't do it. But I guess it's not totally ineffective. I do hope you have other weapons, Trahira, because It's not going to be a good sight if you end up using that against Savage Deviljho. It's not going to be good at all. I'm just glad that we're all over Hunter rank 8. It is a good thing. I will this time use Heavy Pierce. Heavy Normal would still be fine, but... Wait, didn't I say that I wanted to try using Blade Master? You know what, I will do that. I've already gone ranged, so I think just for the sake of... Well, I guess in the search of credence to my previous theory that it would be easier to run Blade Master, I will give that a try. I said that I wasn't in a Lance mood, but you know what? I am in the mood to succeed, and Lancing Deviljho is one thing that I am very comfortable with. Not that fucking... Are you joking? For goodness sake. This one. God. And I don't think I have an Awakened Thunder Lance, sadly. So I won't be using that. As I've said before, not many Awakened Thunder weapons out there in this game. The only one that immediately comes to mind would be the... I keep forgetting what it's called. Basically, the Chuck Wugga Wugga fucking Sword and Shield from Tri. It has Thunder Awaken in this game. I don't think it had that in Tri, did it? I don't think so. It may have done, but I don't remember that. Anyway. I expect that my DPS, well perhaps not my DPS, but my survivability will go up with this loadout. Fucking 2 true armor spheres, give me a break. I did not get enough true armor spheres in this game. Nor up. I've got bombs, right? I do. And I seem to also have a trap, which is good. I'm going to ask for a capture. Because again, as I recall, it is easier to get black blood from capturing. And I'm confident enough in that fact to be vying for a capture. With any luck, this will be the last Savage Deviljho that I need to make the Switch Axe. And if... oh no, that's right. Woman, Onna, was the one who posted the Azure Rathalos last time, so I was thinking that in the event that Azure Rathalos were to be the monster to follow this one, I'd be able to use my newly forged Deviljho Switch Axe with an Awakened loadout to fight the Azure Rathalos, but no, that won't be happening. This is a much smaller Deviljho. This is going to make life a whole lot easier, let me tell you. So we've already got Sleep Meat down. I'm not seeing Paralysis Meat, so I will drop that. Or perhaps I won't drop that. The reason why I drop both at the same time is just to save me from... Oh my god, the width of that. The reason why I drop 2 at the same time is because it saves me from having to drop the next one when it's time, but I suppose Lilu would prefer to start with Sleep, which makes sense. I suppose that would be the priority. I feel a whole lot better about this hunt, I have to tell you. I don't feel so good about being flinched like this, but either way. Very happy to see some paralysis there. Yeah, we are definitely in better stead to shit on this monster than last time. Last time we were 3-manning to start with, but second of all, I wasn't feeling too good about my loadout. Bow in general is not that good for damage, but particularly if I were wanting to deal good damage to this monster with a bow, I'd be better off going rapid, but I thought I'd be able to counter that in time. I was not able to do so. I will sharpen up. It's a shame that I have to do it so quickly, or so soon, after having begun the hunt, but what are you doing? I don't even need a fucking... Well, I shouldn't have needed to shield, but your stupid leg hit me anyway. Oh, I think that's a sleep mate. Sure is. I'll ping for the benefit of anyone who's not paying attention, but I think we're all competent enough to not be making that mistake. Alright. Oh, I was actually in range of that. Well, it didn't particularly hurt. I'm glad that I sharpened up for this. Hopefully I can stay out of the range of these people. Trahira, I actually didn't end up confirming this before we departed, but yes, he is using a raw sword and shield. It is really to his incredible benefit that this is a smaller Deviljho. If it were the size of the one that we were fighting last time, Trahira would be begging for death, I think. So, really. Very fortunate that this ended up being a small one. Well, I was actually quite ready to do an evasion through that tail, but you can see that the connection completely shat itself during that attack, and it's now seemingly irreparably fucked. Like, the monster is not returning to an equalized state. It's just jittering and jerking all over the fucking place now. I don't know. It's an old joke, but I guess... Close Pornhub? I don't know. Anyway. Oh my god, look at this! Look at the fucking connection! What's happened, man? There's someone in your house downloading fucking... Well, I'm not even gonna make that joke. That would be rather tasteless. Oh my god, I can't even see what's going on! How does the hunt go from being perfectly smooth to this? In a matter of seconds? Like, what's going on? It just makes it very fucking hard to see what's going on. You have to sort of anticipate where the monster's going to be, which is fine in certain situations. Like in games where that typically happens, I get used to fighting monsters that way. I develop essentially two skill sets. A skill set for the monster when it moves in a way that actually makes sense, and then a separate skill set for when I need to anticipate the movements of the monster. Sadly, I have not developed such a skill set with fucking Deviljho. If I get flinched one more fucking time, I mean, you've got a sword and shield, man. You have the control over your movements to not position yourself near me. You know, the sword and shield is the least fucking acceptable weapon to be flinching teammates with, because you have the most control over where you're attacking. So, oh whoops, that's not good. That was a regrettable time for me to be sharpening, I think. I don't really think a paralysis meat is going to work, because we do already see this here. I don't think this is going to work, because we already have a paralysis being applied, so his paralysis resistance is increasing. So, yeah. Paralysis meat in this case is actually not all that applicable. Do I have nullberries? Holy shit. I do not have nullberries. I can't believe my eyes. What is going on? I didn't even see where you went, to be honest. How the fuck did you make your way over there without me even noticing? Hey, Wonderlord. But yeah, seriously, what a misstep. To actually fail to bring nullberries. I must have consumed all of them, I don't know. In what quest, I don't know, but I seem to have a vague recollection of having used a lot of nullberries in some previous hunt. May have been a Latrion or something. Fuck off, God. Using a lance with a team like this is not a happy time. The little Popo is running into the thick of it. You know, I don't want to be mean, but seriously, there are directions in which to flee to get away from danger, and into the thick of the danger would not be the first on my list, to be honest. You know, realistic monster movements, I don't like calling Popos monsters, but they are. They're small monsters. That is the category within which they fall. But anyway, yeah, very unrealistic. Fucking ridiculous behavior. What, can you argue that because it's a baby Popo, it's confused? What, it's gonna run into the fucking giant blazing red and black dinosaur while fleeing for its life? Somehow I don't think so. I don't think any amount of confusion would allow for that sort of behavior. Anyway. That was a very cinematic tail cut. Looked like it hurt. And I say good. Fucking Devil Joe. Sauvage Devil Joe. He used to be called Hungry Devil Joe, back before he had an official name. He may have just been called Ibirujo Ashu, I don't know, but if he were Ibirujo Ashu, he would not have actually had a proper name. He would have just been effectively referred to as Devil Joe's subspecies, which would leave the door open to the community to make their own guesses as to how he should be called, or perhaps not so much guesses as just literally seeking consensus on how to refer to the monster. And indeed, he is a hungrier version of the regular Devil Joe, so Hungry Devil Joe was how he was referred to in the 3G days, back in 2011. And, yeah. Hungry Devil Joe was a scary fucking thing. I was like, well, that's terrifying. Truly terrifying. And he is scary. He's a difficult monster to fight, honestly. Stop it. Definitely a lot harder with a bow. To be honest, that pierce bow loadout that I was using, I'd say that was inappropriate. Not a good choice. Does he have a lingering glowing eye? I'm not seeing it. It's so funny to see him enraged like that and limping. I don't remember seeing that in 4th gen Wonderlord, but maybe he did have that. He likens it to Nagakuga, but anyway. Probably existed. Oh, sorry. Well, I'm an idiot. I was the one who requested the capture, but I got so worked up, I suppose. Please give me black blood. Please. Not Vile Fang. Vile Fang is another one unique to this monster. Another drop. But, oh, Devil Joe Gem, you're giving me everything except what I want. I don't think black blood carves very often, to be honest. Oh my god. Discard those. I'm pretty frustrated if that moment of lost focus and concentration results in failure to acquire the black blood that I need. And that's very likely. If I still get 2, that will be really impressive. I'm just going to make this clear before we enter the reward screen. There's every probability that I won't get any black blood at all after having done that. But we'll see. Yeah, I didn't get any fucking black blood because I'm an idiot. Wow. Anyway. I can only blame myself for that shit. Literally a waste of a hunt. What a shame. That was entirely my fault. I just want to make the fucking switch axe. Seems to be a big ask. Whatever. It's just frustrating to me when I don't even get any. If I were getting 1, at least that was some progress towards my goal. But if I get 0, that's an unfortunate situation. It really is just a fucking waste of my time. And a waste of an opportunity. Anyway. Lilu's saying that she's doing 2 more hunts. And I think I will concur with that. Ugh, Abyssal Lagucrus. Part of me doesn't want to use the obvious loadout because I seem to always do the same fucking loadout for this monster, but there is a reason why. It's because it's so much faster. So you know what? Too bad, I'm doing it. Dragon Elemental Bowgun. That's how it has to be. There's still room for me to pick up dynamos. I'm not opposed to crafting the Abyssal Lagucrus Gunlance, nor the Abyssal Lagucrus Heavy Bowgun. But of course the Gunlance will take precedence over the Heavy Bowgun because I see no scenario in which I would use the Heavy Bowgun. The Abyssal Lagucrus Heavy Bowgun ends up being the, as I understand it, best pellet Heavy Bowgun in the game, but pellet? No. I have no desire to use pellet. There are no monsters in this game that I would feel compelled to use pellet against, almost exclusively, and I always hunt with a team, so I have no desire or compulsion to use pellet. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of 4th Gen Fatalis. I think they did a really good job at retaining the same monster whilst simultaneously completely changing the way he fights you. He moves in this... It feels as if he fights you in the way that he should have fought you in the older games. The way he moves is still like Fatalis would move. Adding dynamics to Fatalis in the way that they did not actually detract from the Fatalis experience, because the thing with Fatalis previously, like in 1st and 2nd Gen, was that it's not that he was unpredictable, it's that he was very understated. He would just almost lazily move around and kill you. That's how it felt. But they managed to actually retain that sense of laziness and just these meandering movements of the Fatalis, which is really where his intimidation factor comes from. It's because there's a certain degree of uncertainty and unpredictability, and yeah, it's there. and it feels great. I was thoroughly impressed with Fatalis when I played 4 Ultimate for the first time, but I was not so impressed by the fact that all of the hunts that I was doing with Fatalis at that time were over in, like, 3 minutes, because everyone was using Insect Glaive and just cheesing the hell out of him. That was pretty bad. But anyway. I apologize to the team, I was a bit unfocused in what I was doing there. Do I have enough fire shots here? No, but I'll take them all and then purchase some. I basically need huskberries and large husks. I will bring combination materials for flaming shots. If it does get to the point where I'm combining for flaming shots, it means the team is not pulling their fucking weight. And yeah, it's a bad day, but I'm bringing fire herbs anyway. Just for good measure. And do I have air filters? I don't think so. I should bring some. Put the drugged meat away and bring air filters. There we go. Shouldn't need as many as 5 either. Do I have what I need? Yes. So yeah. Opinion on 4th Gen Fatalis is that he is great. I thought he was very good. I also really liked the Super Crimson from 4 Ultimate. Had an excellent theme and excellent attacks. That attack where he summons this burning hot aura in front of him. And if you stand directly in front of him, you'll just get fucking burnt to death. That was really cool. The intimidation factor there was palpable. Really good. Really well done. Am I in range of that? No. Thankfully not. Trying to make my shots count here. Was hoping for a fucking... well... oh, what the... I have fucking... are you kidding me? I was 110% certain that I had Bone Husk Large in my fucking box, in my inventory, I mean. How frustrating is that? I was so certain that I had Bone Husk Large. What the fuck? How annoying is that? I usually always have them in my inventory, but for some reason I didn't have them this time. And I was still pretty certain that I had them. How fucking annoying. I've basically lost most of my damage now. This hunt is guaranteed to take a whole lot longer. How annoying. That is actually infuriating. Stupid. I felt pretty fucking prepared, to be honest. 5th Gen Fatalis, if I can remember. I hadn't played World for like a year and a half by the time that monster came out in World, so I have no opinion of that. Ow. I'm so fucking frustrated by this situation. I'm the only one to blame, but fucking hell, it's stupid. I've lost so much of my day, and then you're gonna hit me again. Go and fuck yourself, you stupid monster. I have no desire to fight you. Do you know how many times I've fucking fought you? I'm gonna check after this fucking hunt to see how many of you I've killed. I'd say it's about 80 to 90. It's enough. I'm sick of it. I don't like hunting you. I have never enjoyed hunting you, ever. Yet here I am, doing it again. I'd be able to put up with it if I at least had the loadout that I intended to have. But no, for some reason I don't have fucking Bone Husk Large. And again, I'm the only one to fucking blame for it, so... time to live with it, I guess. The least I can do is hit the elemental weak point. So I will endeavour to do that. The face is still fine, I suppose. Of course, I'm trying to keep myself in peak performance for the additional damage. Lord knows I need it at this point. Who flash-bombed you? It's not Freedom Unite. Holy god, it's not helping. He's doing attacks that are making it harder for us to hit him. What's with the persistent flash bombing? And I say Freedom Unite, it was just as effective in all the games that preceded Freedom Unite. It's just that the Freedom Unite community are the Flash Happy community. It's because it caught on. They just mindlessly throw flash bombs at everything, and for the entirety of the hunt. That's what they do. Yes, you can find teams that don't do it, thankfully. But it's very common. Absolutely fuming right now. And of course, when you are constantly trying to keep yourself in peak performance, you inevitably use many more healing items than you otherwise would. I don't even get a flinch for that. Come on. I'm so annoyed by this situation. I'm going to stop saying that because I think you guys get it. I'm just going to stew in silence. That's not to say that I'm not going to talk at all, but it is to say that I'm going to stop talking about how I'm utterly fucking incensed by the fact that I didn't bring Bonehusk Large. Thankfully I didn't get hit though. I will check to see how many of these godforsaken monsters I've killed. More than I would have liked to. And it will give you an idea for just how hard it is to get a dynamo from this fucking monster. Because, you know, despite having killed the monster that many times, I still technically don't have all the dynamos that I could possibly need. Or that I could possibly want. To do what I can to avoid this. Oh no. Just the single attack, thankfully. Ugh. No. I'm gonna get hit. There's nothing I can fucking do. Literally the ability to move of this monster compared to my ability to move. Unsurprisingly, the hunter tends to get outmaneuvered. That's one of the things that I don't like about this fight. You feel like a fish out of water. Fighting, I don't know. That's a stupid analogy anyway, but the point is that I do feel like a fish out of water. I'm a human in water. It's really the opposite of a fish out of water. Yes, we're amphibious creatures, but... Hunters aren't human, Doomlink. It is true, that's why I can hold my breath for fucking 5 minutes, but still. And as a hunter I can literally be drowning and still be fully functioning as a human being. Please don't tell me. Good. I was hoping I wasn't in range of the tail. Well, I did what I could to fucking roll through that. Roll. I don't know, evade through it. But I was slightly too late. So it looked as if I just took the hit. Oh my god, here we go again. Thankfully, I wasn't the target of the follow-up. Very thankfully. This is just one of those monsters that you don't want to be endlessly hunting. That's the reality. I can hunt Devil Joe until the cows come home, but this fucking monster? No. There is a limit to how many of these I can stomach fighting in my lifetime. And I'm fast approaching that fucking limit. Part of it is the dislike I have for underwater combat. I enjoy the concept of it, but physically doing it is not pleasant. The reality is that if you're fighting a normal monster underwater, it's fine to be so inhibited in one's movements. But if you're fighting something like this underwater, yeah, it's annoying. It's really annoying. I don't want your flails. This monster should already be dead. But no, I forgot my dragon shots. Thank you. Hello Jezza, and hello Exio. Oh, for fuck's sake, what's wrong with you people? Why are so many of my viewers playing Rise? You people should just do some soul searching, for fuck's sake. Please. It's alright if you play it, I guess, but at least don't talk to me about it. Like, don't even mention it. I don't want to hear the name of the game. I would like to live in a world where it doesn't fucking exist, okay? The apologists in this community for that piece of garbage. You know what it is? It's desperation to play a new game. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to play the same games. I need to play a new game, so I'm going to compromise on the experience. Yeah, great. It's fun. I'm on a wire bug. Suck my dick. Get on your hands and knees, open your big fucking gob, and take it in right in the back of your throat and choke on it. Cunt. Sorry. Just had to get that out. No dynamo, unsurprisingly. I wasn't sitting here expecting one. No, I apologize for that comment that I just made. It's just that reading that Exio, one of my longtime viewers, is now playing fucking Rise after having experienced that hunt. It's just the cherry on the shit cake, honestly. I feel like I've got a big fucking spoon and I'm shoveling excrement into my mouth. Figuratively speaking, that is what I'm experiencing right now. Seriously, Monster Hunter Rise. Anyway, so what was I gonna do? Check my monster list, that's what I was gonna do. I'm gonna show you how many of these monsters I've killed. Abyssal Lagiacrus. Oh, remember when I said, oh, 80, 90, no, 114! 114! And I'm still hunting this piece of shit. 114 of this one dick-headed monster. Apparently Lilu and Toph got a dynamo. Well, I'm glad that they've at least received something in return for their efforts.